All right, you guys, I'm gonna cook some bacon for you. $3.99 a pound. You can't beat it. I get it at a store called Woodman's here in Wisconsin, Green Bay. It's supposed to be. Look at me. I gotta wear a hat and sweater in here. Anyway, I always talk about how I pre-cook bacon. I thought, what the hell? I'm gonna cook everybody bacon, and it takes a little while. So, you know what? Some of my favorite videos are of people cooking, and the videos are a half hour long, and you get to hear the sizzle of the bacon and stuff, and it's peaceful and enjoyable, and I really like watching those videos where people cook. You know what I mean, Raksha? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm setting around about 4, 5, 6 here. And I'll tell you what, you want to use the tongs. Anyway, I was laughing. I put this sweater on. What is going on in America? This is an expensive Gildan brand sweater. Like, I know that's not, like an expensive, maybe not. They make it for everybody. I have other sweaters where I bought larges that are 20 years old that still fit great. They're a large from the same brand. This is a double XL. Double XL. And I couldn't get it over my glasses. I had to take my glasses off. Unbelievable. Anyways, I'm going to cook you bacon, and I don't care how long it takes. Like I told you, I should have had a, make sure you have a rag on the stove because, and like I said, I got no venting, nothing. Anyway, this kitchen is so old. Anyway, you want to line these up. If you got a whole pound, and even if you got a big pan, it better be huge. Otherwise, you got to line these up like this here. I'll show you after I'm done. I got to wash my hands, though. I don't want to get my... You want to get these babies all in a line. I hope you can see what I'm doing here in the pan. Otherwise, I'll have to show you. Once they start to cook, they shrink real quick, and then you can get them. You can move them around. I'll show you that when I'm doing it. I got around 6 here. Like I said, who knows how long this really takes to cook bacon from start to finish. I could have started it and everything and had it right when it was cooking, but I thought I'm gonna make a longer video because sometimes I'm not getting any viewers. I don't have any viewers. What's the difference? I can do whatever I want, and I enjoy making videos, so who cares? But like I said, some of my favorite videos were when I'm just trying to eat or something. I want a long video of somebody enjoying making something like bacon that makes noise and stuff. It's peaceful to me. I just love it. And then if they're too short, like 10 minutes or something, it's like, maybe you guys know that. By you guys, I mean the 2 people that watch me know what I'm saying. But so I thought, hey, I'll make it as long as it's got to be. Anyway, another fun fact here. I used to say that all the time, remember? Fun fact. The handle broke off, so I made this myself out of, I don't even know what that's from. To this day, I try to figure out where I got that. Anyway, cover it up there. The thing with covering bacon, I found, because I cook a lot of bacon. I probably cook a pound a week or 2. I get a kick, the argument about people, whether or not you should eat bacon all the time or not. I mean, my grandpa ran a farm. Felix ran a farm. And he lived into his 90s and he ate bacon every single day. Probably every day of his life. So, I mean, I guess it all depends, How do you want to look at life, right? Are you afraid to die? How much, like you can nitpick anything. And then they find out, maybe these seed oils and stuff, I watch all this stuff, isn't as good for you as they thought they were either. You know what I mean? Let me wash my hands quick. Freezing. I pick up the camera, but I'm covered in grease. freezing. Man, this is going to be a long video. It's already been 5 minutes. I'm not even going to edit it. I'm just going to keep it the way it is. I don't even care. See how long it is. Anyway, you can hear the water running. I'm trying to get some hot water on a rag here. That's your go-to. Anyway, I thought I'd have a talk, and I thought it'd be like tops 20-minute video, but looking at the fact that it's been almost 6 minutes and the bacon's not even sizzling yet, this could be a long one. Anyway, you have a nice little hot rag here. It's going to get damp, or cool anyway, but to clean up the grease that spills over, because when you take the top off, you're going to have little droplets everywhere, so you try to keep it clean. But we were talking about, lately I've been into this Arizona, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Lost Dutchman mine, but there's this guy, they call him the Dutchman, but it was actually German, and translation from Deutsch to Dutch, got turned into Dutch in America, and he moved to Arizona, and he supposedly found a mine full of gold. And there's a lot of evidence to back it up. Like under his bed, when he died, they found a bucket full of gold, or a chest full of gold, and it was turned into what's called an assayer, which is a person that knows rocks and geology and can tell you how much gold is actually in the sediment and everything from the pieces that were found in his bucket. And they said somewhere around, I believe it was 5,000 ounces a ton, which is a lot of gold. Anyway, there's a lot of there's a couple times in history that it became, that a lot of people showed up in the Superstition Mountains of Arizona to try to find this gold mine. And ironically, there's been like 5 million views in the last couple of years, and interest is growing on this mine because it's never officially been found, because what they did is they still have a piece from jewelry and stuff that they can use electromagnetic on, and they can tell, what sediment it is in and stuff. And it's really interesting stuff to me. Anyway, I'll go on more about it in a second, but I don't know if you can hear it or not. It's starting. I'm probably going to get grease all over my camera, huh? Who cares, right? Anyway, so hundreds of people have died looking for this gold. And there's a bunch of stories about how he found it, and word of mouth and everything. Things get completely out of hand. Nobody knows exactly where. Obviously, nobody knows where it was, And there's been treasure maps, this, that, and other. But it's still there for the taking. I mean, I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm not a dummy. It's there. There's still gold mine. They found. Over the years, they tried saying that they didn't think that the geology would even allow for gold mines, and then, sure enough, they struck a huge mine called the, what was it called? The Silver Queen, I believe, mine company. Found tons and tons of silver and gold came out of there. But they took the ore and they used electromagnetic scoping and decided that it was not the same as the ore that came out of Dutchman, Deutsch, the Dutchman, it wasn't the same as this Dutchman's gold. So I've been really excited about it. Anyway, like I was saying, during the Great Depression, people needed something to look forward to, and words kept spreading, because this is way back in the 1800s when this started. But all of a sudden in 1932, 1931, during the Great Depression, you have all the people traveling on trains. Anyway, they just packed into the Superstition Mountains looking for this gold, thousands of people. Nobody's ever found it. But evidently nobody's ever found gold that matches the ore that he had under his bed upon the time of his death. Because a lot of people had come up with the idea that he was stealing this gold or going somewhere else to get it and bringing it to Arizona, right? On the off seasons when he'd go missing. It's a huge story, but I think I might go to Arizona and search for this gold. It's in the back of my mind, I don't know why I got on that, but that's what I've been watching lately. I don't want to get the camera full of grease. Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, there's a lot of interest in it right now. because everybody's broke in this country, and people need to have a dream, something to dream about, you know? Let's be honest, you know? Everybody needs a dream. Dang, I'm turning the camera and everything. I'm such a dummy. Anyway, you know I'm new at this. Look at that. I love bacon. Anyway, when you have the top on, you really can cook it a long time because of the moisture content stays in it and it doesn't get crispy. So you cook it, and then I'm really good at cooking bacon. It takes time, but I'm on 6 here. You can see it cooking. But nothing's going to stick to the bottom of the pan if you're turning it every couple minutes, because I'm keeping the oil and moisture in there. And it does two things, you know. It stops it. I got some on the wall, and I always got to keep either painting over or washing the wall. I got to drill a hole there and run a vent. And if you watched any of my other videos, you know I've had nothing but outside problems on the house. And that was before I started making videos before I even showed that I had to paint the whole house by hand, you know, and we're talking 40 feet by 20 feet wide, you know. It took me, I counted the gallons one time. It's like 5, 10, 15, 25 gallons or something. 30 gallons of paint. It was unbelievable. I got myself in way over my head on that. I get myself in way over my head on almost everything I do. But anyway, then I had to fix the roof. When I was up there doing the chimney on my videos, then I had to go and fix I didn't even do a video on fixing the individual roofing shingles. I must have done 60 or 70 of those, and I just ran out. Nobody was watching my video on fixing the chimney anyway, so I just did it on the side, you know, with my ladder, my homemade ladder and roofing ladder I made it. All right, so anyway, now you can really just separate them. I don't know if you'll even see this on camera, but I'm just kind of shaking it, you know, getting everything separated. Like I said, when you want it to start crisping up, oh, you should smell it. You can see the seam. You should smell it. Ooh, it smells good. Anyway, see, I gotta just keep wiping this down and trying to keep my area clean. I'm gonna get a little, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get, I'll show you. I get ready for a spot to put the bacon to get the grease off of it. Anyway, I use toilet paper, believe it or not. You can use any type of paper you want. And no, I don't use it off the roll. I got a new one I had open up, and then I put it in here when I'm done. I'll drop it in here, you know, and I'll cover it and I'll press, and it'll get all the grease out. I'll show you that in a little bit. Anyway, this lost gold is a fantastic story that has truth. But that brings me to the topic I was talking about and thinking about when I was laying in bed watching more about it and thinking about, I love gold and silver. It's just something I haven't gotten into, and I have jewelry and stuff and whatever, but it's always been really interesting to me. And if you're not paying attention, a couple years ago, gold was only $1,500 an ounce. It's skyrocketed now this week to $5,000. Silver's gone from $20, $25 an ounce 5 years ago. It's just about to pass $100 an ounce. That's 4 times its value today. And the only reason gold and silver goes up like that is because of the debasement of the American dollar. That means that the American dollar is losing its value so fast that other countries and people are putting money into gold and silver because they're afraid of the debasement of the American currency. So you get to a point where you're thinking, I don't think we're going to go back to the Great Depression because, like I said, I did a lot of research, and in college I even took classes on economics and the Great Depression. And the problem with the Great Depression that people don't realize, and that it's really hard to replicate, is that we didn't have a Federal Reserve that would print more money like we do now. So we didn't have a Federal Reserve that could that was printing more money when there was a problem, or they didn't have the same type of power as they do now, where that you could print more money. So there's a lot of people like Peter Schiff and stuff that are huge into this, think that we're going to have a collapse like the Great Depression, and history rhymes, it never repeats, and there's a reason for that. They say that. Anyway, there's a lot of renewed interest in people looking to find gold now because it's $5,000 an ounce. You know what I mean? And silver's $100 an ounce, and that's already been proven. They took out so much silver from the mines, but it wasn't worth their time, you know? They're only getting back then in the I think it was the early 1900s, middle 1900s, and they're only getting, I think it was $7 an ounce, not even, for silver. And it's up to $100, so you're going to see a lot of these mines reopen. You're seeing a lot more renewed interest in gold and silver. I'm sure you're all seeing it on your YouTube feed thinking, I don't even have gold and silver. Why am I getting all these videos? Well, they've gone up 5 times their value. That's why. In less than a year. Anyway, that's the stuff I love. I love economics. Like, economics is exciting. People are like, economics is boring. It's not. It's so exciting. It's your whole future. Economics means everything for your future. Anyways, oh man, it's like my YouTube videos, I don't really have anything special going on. Like right here, I'm just cooking freaking bacon and talking to you, you know? Fantastic, right? You don't want it too hot. It's always low and slow, baby. And then the more you have the top off, the crispier it's going to get when you get to a certain... You'll see. So we're at 17 minutes. It's been cooking. You get that top on, it holds that heat in, it really starts bubbling up. But it won't get too crispy. You got to wait till the end and then... Anyway... Going to Arizona in the Superstition Mountains, that's just, and it's the Superstition Mountains, I think they said, I don't know how many miles wide. Oh, it's big, right? It's just majestic is the word. But there's all these characters there too, you know? It's like a rundown gold mine town or a silver mining town. You got all these old bars. And I've lived in Montana with a buddy in an old mining town type of thing. And it's just... the collection of fun people, weird people, different types of people that congregate in these towns. Man, I'm just... it's a dream of mine, you know? I think. To take my camera, take the dog, take my old minivan all set up with a bed in the back. I think that would be some real YouTube stuff, you know? That would be some real content. Because really, in the city here, what kind of content can somebody really make, you know? You can't. That's why all you see on your feed is women sticking their butts out, or, I mean, it's every single video where they got a shock face on there. Oh, I can't believe they said this, or what celebrity said that, or what. It's just mental. It's every single thing. I enjoy real content. I want real substance. You know what I mean? I want substance. In America, we have no substance. There's none. And I think going out into the mountains, you know, just me, my dog, some water, camera, you know, even if it's just a couple weeks out of the year, something to do, you know. Anyways, negative 20 in Green Bay. Upwards of negative 30, 25. What is going on when it's negative 20 degrees, you know? This whole country's gotten strange. They shut the schools down this week. I remember it being cold, but I don't know if I ever remember negative. Just listen to that. I'll be quiet. Just listen. Keep it from sticking. You want to keep it from sticking to the bottom? And then once the top's off like this, that's when it's going to start to get crispy. You know? You don't want it any hotter than 4.5 once you get to this. We're about 20 minutes in. Does that sound good or not? And some people would probably like their bacon just like this, but I'm going to get mine a little crispier. I like it a little crispier, you know? Oh, yeah. That's good, right? There's no substance in America anymore. None. We've all lost a dream. That's what it is. I was thinking about that. I was like, and I got hat head and hair head and whatever from laying down there. I was going through depression this last couple months. There's no substance. I was laying in bed just today thinking, life has no substance. Nobody has any dreams. Or if they do, I don't hear about them or see them. Every job's the same thing. Doesn't it feel that way? Every job I've had just seems like it's the same job with a different shirt on. You know? It's almost like you work for... And then I seen that meme going around where it's like the whole U.S. economy is just... And it's meant to be a joke, memes are, you know? The whole economy is just 4 major umbrella companies that own everything, transferring money to each other. And the more you think about it, it's not even a meme. It's not even funny anymore. It's true. It's true. The BlackRock, these big corporations that have trillions of net value or whatever, they're just passing money from one... They own everything. They own all the restaurants, all the houses. They own all the rental properties, all the business locations. And to prop up the economy, they're just pitching money back and forth to each other. They consider it positive on their balance sheet. And the more you think about it, it's not even a meme anymore. We've all become a meme as society. We've all become that meme. I mean, you guys are watching me here. Think about it. When's the last time we had an actual dream? And felt like it was a feasible option. Like, just such a stupid dream. Like, hey, I'm going to go to Arizona in a van and just for a couple weeks, and I'm going to take my dog and I'm going to go search for a lost gold mine. You know what I mean? It's such a stupid little dream. It should be such an easy dream to accomplish. Until you start thinking about logistics and stuff. When I was younger... When I was 18 years old, I just turned 18. I moved to California in one day. I didn't even think about it. You could do those kind of things back then. You could literally try to live your dream. Hey, it didn't turn out good. I ended up in North Hollywood with a guy that was on drugs and nuts. All hell broke loose. I ended up having to move to... San Antonio, Texas. Whoa, did you see that? I almost got myself, and that's why you got a rag. That would have been all over the place. I ended up moving to San Antonio, Texas at the time, just off a whim, and I made it for years. For years. The first gas station I walked into gave me a job for $10 an hour back then. That was 2005, 6, 7, somewhere in there. Look at how crispy she's getting now. See how I'm just stirring it? You've been watching me. I probably would have got more views if I just showed the bacon sizzling. People don't even like hearing me, you know. I talk too much. And then I even said before I got on this video, I'm like, I am not going to talk a lot. That was my plan. I'm not even lying to you guys. That was my plan. I said, I'm not going to talk much on this video. I'm going to let them hear the bacon sizzle. That was my big plan. To not even talk. To just make it about the bacon, you know? But of course, I'm so selfish. I took all the bacon's attention away. All the attention away from the bacon. The beautiful bacon. I cook it all up like that. Keep it moving, you know? Then you then it really... And you get that, it'll be perfect, you know? You got to keep it moving. Or it'll get too crispy in spots. And then sometimes I'll even get her down in here. You're almost done here. You can tell it's almost done. My camera work's probably going to be horrible. You try doing this with just your hands. But you want to try to get it all in that grease down there like that. Kind of just moving it around. See, this is where I like my bacon now. If you want another 5 minutes, you'd be so crispy. But like I said, this is what I'm talking about, is that. See how it's all crispy there around the edges like that? Look at it, see? Once you get this in the microwave for another 30 seconds, you got to remember it starts to crisp up even more. So you want to have it just a little, unless you're going to make it right away, you know. You want to have it just a little undercooked. Just a little. Anyway, I'll turn this off. Look at this here. See? Get her in there like that I got there. Just like that. And then just give me a second. Anyway. So I got her in there. She's going to start soaking up that grease. See? Look at this. I hope you can see me there. Anyway. I'm going to dump that right in the snow where my dog can't get to it. I got a spot right over the ledge, which I shouldn't do. I should go all the way out the back and put it on the fire pit probably. Put it on the fire pit. Otherwise the dog's just going to go out there. What was I going to say? All right, anyway, so this is what I do now. I got it right here. 26-minute video about making bacon. Can you guys believe that? But that's what it takes. Nobody tells you how much work it takes to make bacon. I watch a lot of cooking videos, and I got the water running back there because the only way to clean that pan is to have it hot, and you know that. Look at all that grease there. So I emptied the grease. You don't want to put this down your drain. I'm a plumber. I did a lot of plumbing in my life. That's what my dad was. I know all about plumbing. I'm an auto mechanic by trade, but plumbing is, you do not want to put this grease down your drain because it takes extremely hot water to, what's the word for it? I just had that on my tongue too. But anyway, look at how quickly I got that. Just that little. This is made just for this. I have this just for my bacon. Anyway, let me show you how clean I got it. Just that little bit. Just that little bit of work. Look at how clean I got it. Just that tiny bit of work while everything was hot instead of leaving it in the stove. Or leaving it in the sink. Look at that. So there you go. You get her while it's hot like that, and then clean this up while it's hot too. Anyway, you do not want to get that down your drain, or you'll be calling a guy a goofball like me to come fix it, charging you lots of money because it's hard to get that grease out of your pipes. Real hard. Anyway, I'll show you the finished product. And make sure you don't shower before you do this. You want to shower after. That's why, look at it, I've been soaking it like this. And like I said, you're going to have I'm not afraid to have a little bit of grease left. But just look at all that. Look at all that grease I got out of there. It's just, look at all that. Throw that in the garbage. Anyway, I made a ridiculously long video on cooking bacon. So there you go. To really cook bacon, and get it done, you're talking, and look at that bacon. I told you I'm really good at it. I could get even more grease out of it, but when it solidifies like that and you microwave it and there's just that little, it's good. Hey, 30 minutes to cook bacon. I put that in the refrigerator, and now I can eat it anytime I want. Anyway, I should probably make a picture for the camera. And God dang it if I shouldn't give her a piece, huh? For the end of the video. Right,